You ever do that? Go back and be like, where was I when the year started? And then like, kind of like,
Man, I might have went to bed early. You know, New Year that week is always a big week. I really don't recall though. Sometimes, like what I'll do, I'll go to bed so I can be ready for the next day because generally you'll have to work all day. You
yeah.
know, so I don't recall though. That's crazy because it seems so long ago. What about yourself?
Well, me and the wife always go to. We always go to like a restaurant on New Year's Eve. So we went to the
Okay.
restaurant and then we came home and just kind of took it easy. Took it easy from there. You mean there's like a fireworks event that happens waterfront, but I'm tired of freezing my balls off every year, and I told her we're not doing that anymore. And
Yeah.
so stayed home, and of course this year there is no New Year's get together. The Big Apple at New Times Square that ain't dropping, or maybe it is dropping, but nobody's allowed to be there. Do you know whether it's still going to be the Times Square Apple still
Uh,
going to drop it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They'll
I think
probably
they should.
still do something. It's such a big event. I mean, it's such a big thing. So I can't imagine them just giving that up. You know.
Yeah, you still got, I say still drop the Apple, drop the ball, but just live stream it and then have no and allow nobody into Times Square
That'd be
for that
interesting.
event. It would be interesting, man.
That'd be interesting. I think a lot of people. I mean, we're at a point where anything that is seems a little normal to us, we want it. You know. So if that's the closest we'll get, then we'll go for that.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Well, man, so we're talking about 2020. We're looking back on 2020. And I thought that if you could think of one word that would sum it up, I thought the word death would be a good word.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, deaf is a good word. I do. Why did you pick that word? What?
Well, just you look at how the year started, kind of started off, and the first thing you heard of the big news was like, oh, the Australia burning, and there was a lot of
Yeah.
death there in terms of like animals. Was it over 3 million or three? I don't know if it was 3 billion, or I don't know that there was a. I'll Google it right now, but a lot of animals died in those Australia fires.
Wow.
So yeah, so that started the year off with death. And dude, I can't even believe it, but I just confirmed it on Google right now. It's saying that nearly 3 billion animals were killed or displaced during Australia's devastating bushfires this
Wow.
year. 3 billion? I don't know how they came with those numbers. I
They said
wouldn't.
three. They said 3 billion with
3
the B.
billion because I was like, no, it could have been 3 billion. So I
Oh
Googled it.
man.
3 billion. I mean, there's lots of different types of animals and life out there, but that just shows you how big of a scale the fires were for 3
Yeah. My
billion animals, right?
goodness. Wow. That's crazy.
It is. And it
That's
could
insane.
insects, birds, koala bears, those cute fuzzy koala bears.
Man, that is crazy. I can't imagine, man. Like
So sad.
everybody. Yeah. So I mean, oof, that is a lot of death.
That is a lot of death. And then after that, then there was that famous death.
Oh yeah. Then Kobe. Yeah.
Kobe.
That we're talking about. Yeah, Kobe. Whew.
There's that death right there. Where were
That
you
was
when you heard
another.
that, man?
We were celebrating the wife's birthday, and I think I was. It happened really early in the morning, and I remember somebody texting me. And I'm not a real big fan of like these, like you know how people do like them chain joke texts, and they'll be always be adding everybody. So
Yeah.
everybody knows not to message my phone stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, don't message me stupid shit. So when I seen that, I'm like, why is somebody messaging me this stupid shit? You know? And then it was like, but then I looked at the person that messaged me. I'm like, well, this person knows the, you know,
Yeah.
and they don't really joke around like that. So then I just kind of looked at it, and at the time, the only person that had confirmed it was, I think it was TMZ. So it still seemed a little bit weird. And then there was a fake video footage of it online. So it was just crazy. Yeah. So I
Fake
was in a,
video footage. I didn't see that. That's
yeah, because you didn't see the footage of like a helicopter going down.
I didn't see that. No.
Okay, so yeah,
That's
that was
crazy.
out, and a lot of people thought that that was the actual. I think some people probably still think that was the actual thing that happened,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think it was from another crash that happened, but that was popping up very early off when the things happened. So I remember it, and I remember it being a very sad day. Where were you at?
I'm I mean, I don't know what I did that morning. I think I may have gone to the gym.
Yeah.
And I got back home and I think it might have been Instagram that I loaded up and I saw Dana White's Instagram and he just said, you know, please God tell me this isn't true or something like that. And I seen
Mm,
what I saw and I was like, oh wow. And I mean, I'm not a huge Kobe fan. I don't have a Kobe Bryant jersey. I respect the man. I deeply respect him, but I just had this feeling that it was a really bad feeling. Like, whoa. And it was mostly due to the fact, looking back on it, that like if an athlete like that, a protected athlete with every privilege and advantage in the world, can have their life taken away from them, then I can too. It was just a reminder of my own mortality that
yeah,
if Kobe, this huge superstar, can die just all of a sudden, so suddenly, so young, it can happen to anyone. It's just kind of
can
scary
happen.
about that.
Can happen to anybody, man. Yeah. How'd you feel about that? I mean, did it? I mean, what did you with that thought run through your head? Like,
I don't like, I was trying to like, I was conflicted because I don't know Kobe Bryant. I don't
yeah,
know him. He's not a friend of mine. He's not a
yeah,
close, but I wasn't crying, but I was all sobby like that. You
yeah.
know what? Oh man, you know what I mean?
I will
It was
tell you that there was like a sadness all across, like that sobbiness that you say you're feeling. We're feeling like there's like was like a
everything but the
sadness.
tears. It was everything but the tears. And there may have possibly been some moisture there at some point. I don't think there was a tear, but it was just like, whoa, dude. You know what I mean?
The thing, I liken it to, the king of pop because, and I think what I was hearing a lot of people say that they hadn't felt so sad since Michael Jackson died. And was unique about Kobe Bryant, I mean, there's been a lot of tragedies this year, and there was even a lot of tragedies in that incident because his daughter died and several others died. But the unique thing about him is that if you're a basketball fan or entrepreneurship, different things like that, we grew up with Kobe. We seen him he skipped, college to come to the NBA, so we pretty much seen him grow from a young man to a man. So he was a big part of television and thing in our lives that we had seen. So not it's kind of crazy for somebody that you have never met to have such an impact. Their death to have such an impact on you, but I can really see where the fans and those people are coming from, especially the LA fans. So and
Yeah.
it was tough because you see that. I mean, you haven't seen something like that since Michael. Where you have this person that's a kid entertainer, so you go on this journey and road with them. So
Yeah. And, what I'll say is it dominated pretty much every media outlet, social media, the news, You know, you went out on the street, people wearing the Kobe Bryant jerseys. Um, so it was a global event because Kobe was a global um, name, a global, talent. Same with Michael Jackson. So
Yeah,
when they both passed, the whole world was mourning,
yeah,
and it's like the whole world was sad. It
yeah.
was a big event, you know, and everybody was talking about it, and the the league shut down and whatnot, and it just really hit home that life is so precious is really what it was. You know what I mean?
Life is, man. It is. Yeah, you're definitely right. It's just so precious, and you don't want to take anything for granted.
Mhm.
And then we went on to, I mean, COVID-19 and stuff like that, where we really got a glimpse of how fast, one day somebody could be here, the next day they're gone. And just
Or death. And it
more
was like,
deaths.
I mean, I heard about it before it hit, and but still, I really didn't know the impact that it was going to have.
Yeah,
I mean, it was predictable. We just didn't see it coming. It's like it was coming, but I mean, we just weren't prepared for it, and we saw what happened in China. Um, Luckily, United States, Canada, and the rest of the world saw the measures that China took, so they had something to go off of. But there was nothing you could do to really prevent it. And then and then all of a sudden you saw it sweeping through Europe first in the news and then pulling coffins away on and that man, that was some scary stuff. I mean, we did a podcast on that a few months back.
yeah,
But the initial wave of news coming in made it seem like this thing is certain death if you get it. Like if you get it, it's over. That's kind of what it was we're feeling, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, man. Phew.
that of course set off the chain reaction, way more death. And not only that, it poverty. People lost their jobs. It was a good financial year for some, and it was a very bad financial years for others. So that was another thing. How many people were displaced and maybe still don't have the proper living accommodations right now that they used to? I'm
Yeah, I
wondering.
mean, whew, man. I mean, they here recently. They were talking about a stimulus bill and giving people, I think it was $600 or something like that, or 2,000. They wanted to get it up to 2,000, but they said
Yeah,
600. And I mean,
600.
can you imagine $600 if you've lost your job and you can't afford your rent? I mean, I don't know where the hell you can rent something for $600. So.
Sounds more like a buy a PlayStation 5 fun because you can't afford no apartment. Just go buy a PS5.
Get you, yeah. I mean, pretty much, and say, hey, pacify yourself because, I mean, yeah, because I mean, can you imagine? I mean, you don't have anywhere to live. I mean, yes, the stimulus works. I mean, you get some, but if you're behind on your bills and different stuff like that, I mean, this has been going on for 9 months. I'm trying to figure out something to give to the people, and 600 divided by nine. I mean, was it like 50, 60 $60 a month, for the
If
nine
that's the way
months
you
that
want to
people
look at it, yeah, then that's the way you should look. That's
that,
the way you should look at it too.
for the 9 months that people have been waiting for this. I mean, some people really need it, like you
I mean,
said. I mean,
they're doing 1,000 a week, 1,000 every 2 weeks here for Canadians.
which is a lot better. I mean, hey, I mean, because you got rent, You got everything else. You got your bills you got to keep up on, and then you got food. I mean that helps. That's
And then we got
about
free medical care on top of that.
free medical care. So,
Come on
I mean
down.
that's a.
If you don't like Vancouver, you can do Toronto.
Come on down.
You can do Toronto. You'll like it. Become a Raptors fan, you know.
Yeah, yeah. We
But
got the
yeah,
little.
man, COVID really, man, it really fucked everything up.
Yeah,
I don't know if we overreacted or if we underreacted, but what's done is done. And now they're doing
yeah.
it again. They're locking us down again. I don't know. I don't see people dying. I don't know what's going on. Apparently the hospitals are packed. I don't know. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know. But I mean,
man,
I'm
and I
just
don't know if anybody knows. I mean, that's the crazy part about
nobody
it because
knows.
if you go back and look at some of the shit that was said when this first started off, and how it just was just conflicting things being said. Do this,
Yeah.
do that, don't do
Yeah.
this. Now, if you jump, now that cures it. But if you don't jump, then your ass is gonna get it. you know. Now, if you chew juicy fruit bubble gum, you're straight. But if you ever choose spearmint in your life, it was just very
Don't
confusing
you
and
dare take an Advil.
yeah. Don't take an Advil. Don't take a nap
You
either.
fucking die if you take an Advil.
So it was just like, and then so I think one thing that we realize is the people in power and the leadership. I mean, I think we put a lot of people put a lot of faith in them and say, hey, what does this person have to think? And then we just got to figure out that nobody really knows what's going on. I
They
guess there's
just
like a
regular
TV
human
show,
beings, just like us.
just regular human beings trying to figure it out, and they were trying to
Mhm.
figure this out right before our very eyes. I mean, some of these people, I'm like, whoa, I was just really shocked at how they're still conducting themselves right now. I'm like, wow, this is
Well, they can't
amazing.
even figure the economy out. They're not going to figure out a pandemic. That's way over
Yeah,
their
so
over their ability
yeah,
right there. So
and that's
that
just
was yeah.
one.
No,
Go
you go
ahead.
for it. I was saying that was really the big story of the year, and it's still the story now. And going into
Yeah.
2021, it's still the story.
Because so much. I mean, you got COVID. Then let's just step back from COVID. It's like the reaction from COVID, the overreaction from COVID. You have, people are at home and they're stuck in their houses, and you got what's going on in the mind. We already had neglected mental health,
Yeah,
but now it's magnified times 20, 30, and still we don't really have anything to address what's going on with people at home. A lot of times people didn't know how long they were going to be staying in the house, so they didn't do anything. So
oh, the
you
big
know
toilet paper rampage or madness.
yeah,
Yeah, man, I forgot about that. The toilet paper fights. That was an event of its own.
the toilet paper, yeah, whoever had the most TP's the king, and some people still got the toilet paper. you know
There was some big
T-
time beatdowns in aisle number 5 over
yeah,
that,
on
man.
my toilet paper.
But moving in, but it seems like with the pandemic, we don't know if we were needed to be locked down or not. Certainly, at least they controlled the population while they were figuring it out. But all of a sudden, people were tired. They didn't want to be in their homes no more. People getting restless. Something had to change, and then one event kind of set everything off, and it was George Floyd um, passing away at the hands of a police officer. And when
Yeah,
that happened, when that footage was broadcast of that man basically having to endure what he did and passing away under the knee of a police officer, that set off a chain reaction that got everyone, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people out of their homes. Seemed like COVID was not over, but seemed like everyone just stopped really fearing COVID so much at that point, and they were out in the streets protesting with some with masks on. They're protesting George Floyd's death. They're protesting all Black lives at that point because of the large spread mistreatment of Black people with law enforcement, and then some are just protesting COVID, the lockdowns, having to stay inside, having to wear masks. There's all sorts of protests going on, mismatched up in one.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely right. I
So
was thinking
there's
that when you
death
were saying
again, death again. George Floyd.
more death, man. And then the human body was responding to that. We were stuck inside the house and we seen this horrific act. I think it was 8 minutes, 9 minutes, or something like that.
Yeah,
And then everybody responded to it. No, 8:24. I think it was 8:24, which is weird and strange because those are two of Kobe Bryant's numbers.
yeah, that is a bizarre coincidence.
You
And
know,
it just, yeah,
coincidence? I don't know, man. Yeah, it's
universe
just
works in strange ways.
very strange, very strange. 8 and 24, and then this happens. I mean, and some people were out there protesting for him. Other people just wanted to get out the house too, and protest, like you say, protest COVID. So
Certainly united
you
a
said
lot
what?
of people. Certainly united a lot of the population.
Yeah, yeah. I
People
would
of all
say for yeah,
races.
yeah.
And you know what? I've seen a lot of changes since then. I've seen a lot of more Black people given the attention that they should. It's almost like it had to be brought out the way that it did. And now all of a sudden, like, I put on a TV show and I see a lot more Black people on TV. And I'm just like,
Mm.
where was this before?
Yeah,
You
give
know what
me
I
a
mean?
job. I want a job. I want a TV show.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there was that systemic issue of maybe hiring a white person over a Black person when it came down to it. Of maybe
Racism is so layered and complicated. So, we look at it on the street level, and then obviously you're talking about on a different level, financial and economic, and then also seeing, fair representation on television in different mediums of people of color. It's just so many different levels to racism because, if all you see is people of color or different people playing roles that only, reinforce these racist
stereotypes.
ideologies,
Yeah.
stereotypes in people's heads, then that's not really doing justice. That's doing just as much damage as this guy holding somebody down 8 and 24. But we don't register that because it's not as,
Mm.
traumatizing until
Mm-hmm.
it is, because that takes a little bit more time to settle in. Or if we don't see, or if you got somebody and a person of color, any color, and they're not able to get the same opportunities in the workplace and in their job and stuff like that, are able to rise up the ranks, so to speak, then that, we might walk past that every day, but we don't realize what that does, because that person can't provide for their family, and then it creates a box and it creates a, glass ceiling. So I mean, there's various levels to racism, and I think George Floyd did force everybody to begin to look at different things and maybe become a little bit more sensitive, because I had some conversations with some people in some higher places after that, and that was initiated that conversation. So yeah,
No,
I say
well
that
put.
to only say I agree. I agree with what you're saying as far as some things did change after that.
Well put. Well put, man. Well put. Something we didn't talk about was, the big stock market crash that came with Corona. That was another
Yeah.
part of 20. Sorry, I didn't mean to just transition away from what you were saying. I was just looking at some fast facts about 2020, but death again, George Floyd. It was really sad to see what happened to him, and the whole world got to see a brutal, brutal death. It wasn't like, I mean, you've seen people get shot and killed, and it's like we're desensitized to that in a way. But
Yeah.
when you saw him get strangled for 8 minutes on the street, and the things that he was saying, I mean, he's asking for his mom, apparently. I don't know if that's true. Something that I heard, you know. He relieved himself in his pants. Obviously, he had no control over his body anymore. That's, my God. You know what I mean? Really, really a graphic thing that was broadcast for the entire world to see. You know, this is our policing department here. And we've been saying it for a long time that Black people, certain races don't get a fair shake in the United States. Now take a look at this. And man, that, yeah, Black Lives Matter was a huge movement in 2020, and I hope it sticks around, man, and I hope we see more politicians taking on more initiatives to move it forward. Yeah, I think we're frozen. Are you frozen, bro? Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear
Okay.
Can
me?
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I lost internet there for a second.
Don't
So
worry about it, man.
back, man.
We're just recording again. Well, we're finishing up Black Lives Matter, but just moving on to death. Another death. Talking about Chadwick Boseman,
Man, another
Black
one.
Panthers, death again. 2020. Well, I don't know if it was about life. Maybe for some. Probably a lot of babies
Man.
are going to be born as a result of people being locked down in 2020, and we'll see some life there. But Black
Yeah,
Panther, man.
yeah, I seen two girls. I seen two sisters. They both had babies on the same day. So, But yeah, no, there goes again another death, another just tragedy.
Man,
Black Panther. I think didn't Alec Baldwin? No, not Alec Baldwin. Alex Trebek.
Alec Trebek, he's a Canadian too. Jeopardy.
Oh wow, really was a
Yeah,
great Canadian. Um,
all the good ones
who
are.
else? Sean Connery
Oh, I forgot
died.
about that.
Sean Connery. Yeah. The old James Bond. I mean, it was just yeah. It's a crazy year. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to see life and death, but it's part of the circle, man. It's part of we all have to take that journey at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to go through that at some point. We're still here, so I think they will want us to finish the mission. So
No, you're.
whatever.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you on that one. So yeah, brothers, it was tough losing Chadwick. Definitely, he's a hero to all. It's nice to see a superhero that isn't Caucasian or have white skin. There's all types of people out there, and man, you get some equality. See Wakanda, the perfect utopia, a hero for all. Thinking this
Yeah.
is an awesome movie, looking for a sequel. Then you saw like some photos of Chadwick and not looking so great, and people were really critical about it. You know what I mean? All sorts of comments about, oh, he's on drugs, or famous people have unhealthy lifestyles, or that's people jump into conclusions right away. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Chadwick Boseman has passed away. And you're like, what?
What?
From
Yeah.
cancer? I had no idea. He really didn't let anyone know. He was just fighting his fight, his battle, going to work, and he wasn't letting it stop him. And he really didn't want it as an excuse. He didn't want people asking him about it. And man, that's really courageous, if you ask me, because a lot
Yeah.
of people would want to share that just so they can get all the positive vibes and whatnot.
Mm. It's tough, man. It's tough, but if you're a private person and like you say, fight your battles by yourself, and I'm pretty sure he thought, yeah, he had a lot more life to live, so he said, hey, let me fight this thing, let me get over this. But us as people, we're just so vicious, and we don't ever really think, to be careful what we say before we speak, because a lot of people did speak on how he was looking, and he looked sick, and he must be preparing for a role, and they had the cameras all up in their face, and no knock to them because that's their job, but you would think, you're just a little bit more, you should be a little bit more aware too as well. If you don't learn anything else from the situation, let me step back and look. I don't know what people are going through at all, so.
Definitely, man. That was big time shocker. Oh, that was just on top of everything else. Not to take
Yeah.
anything away from Chadwick at all. That it
Yeah.
was the least or the lesser of anything. It was a really tough year, and now we're going back into another lockdown. I mean, if there's one thing that people might be happy about in 2020, and I'm not that I take sides, is that Donald Trump lost the election. That was the final. That was the news that, like, kind of, it doesn't really seem, you don't really hear anything about that anymore. I haven't
Well,
heard
you
anything
did,
about
but you
that.
did. He did. Him and Michelle Obama and Donald Trump are the men and women of the year, or something like that. I don't
Donald
know.
Trump is a man, and really, is that Time magazine, or?
I have no idea. I was reading something today that said it's the first time because last year he won it and it was him and Obama tied.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I'm thinking, though. No matter what anybody's political affiliation is, and what they think about the election is, how even I don't know where the hell they got these votes for the man and woman of the year, because I didn't vote for it. But if Biden got 11 million more, 7 million, 11 million more votes than Trump, shouldn't he have got man of the year? I'm just saying. you
Maybe,
know,
yeah. I don't know. It's just, don't expect it to make sense, man. Because
Side
politics,
note.
man, is not. This isn't math or science. It's just all people taking money from rich people.
It's a big
Welcome to
game, man. It's a big
politics.
game, and you get to really see how much these people think that you know people's life is a joke.
Yeah.
Because they supposed to pass these bills to look out like we were talking about earlier for people, and they're giving people $600. Which is
Six,
$60,
a whole 600?
$55 a month.
Damn, you can be ghetto
But
rich. Not even anymore. 600 ain't doing nothing.
man, 600, you might be, man, geez Louise. That might have to go just straight to the landlord. That
Ain't no
might have to go
landlord
straight.
taking, yeah, no kidding. 600 ain't
That
gonna
might
be
have to.
enough for any landlord I know.
Yeah.
Just got paid, so I'm broke.
Pretty much. I mean, so.
It's a
And
sad,
these people, they don't
sad.
care because they're set. They don't care. They're set, and they're going to do what they want to do. And it's I don't know. But people, I mean, the longer they take during these things, and once that goes away real fast, people is going to begin to thinking and say, hey, that person's getting fatter. We're down here starving. And then you have the real
Mm,
problem. We talked about
oh yeah.
racism, but the real problem, and almost all civilizations, there's always a classism. You know, they can put anything on it. They can put say, hey, this is this. But when you boil it down, a lot of this stuff, the problem is classism. You know, the haves and the have-nots. You know, the have a whole lot and the
that's
have a whole
you know
lot of
what?
nothing.
It's a whole new world. And
Yeah,
the way I see it, I see a lot of people that had outdated skills. A lot
yeah,
of them were older.
yeah,
They got retired a little bit earlier.
yeah,
One, because they couldn't keep up with this new era. It's a
yeah,
technology company. People don't want to come into your shop and order no more. They want to do it off DoorDash. So if you can't provide them with that service, guess what? Your business is going to get shuttered down, and
yeah,
you're getting retired. Plus, maybe you're at an age where you're scared of COVID, anyways. Businesses
yeah,
going out of business, scared of COVID. This is a world for the young technical mind. If you're young, you know technology, you know software, you understand digital, there's plenty of jobs for you. If you
yeah,
don't understand digital, you're outdated.
yeah.
You don't have a family owned and operated business or whatever. It's I don't know. I don't know. This is the whole new world.
Whole new world. It's time to get, for people that's thinking, hey, what I'm going to do in 2020, what I'm going to do for some New Year's resolution and goals. You need to know that this is a new world and say, hey, I need to adapt. If I want to survive, I might want to start doing a few things. I might want to gain some new skills. If you don't have those skills
Update.
to participate, it's time to update your skill set because,
Update.
yeah,
That's the number one thing you got to do for 2021. You need to know your digital technology. You want to work for a company right now, you might not be going into an office. They may send you a computer at home. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So you got to know how
yeah,
to use it. Ain't going to be someone there to hold your hand. So online courses,
yeah.
YouTube,
YouTube. I mean, you got to use your tools,
LinkedIn,
what you
whatever you got to
got.
do.
Friends and family, if somebody has expertise, maybe you can get with them on the weekend. They can teach you some things. Could be an opportunity for them to make some money off of teaching those things. As well as you made an interesting point when you said that these companies might be sending out you some computer and some software. This creates a more competitive workplace too, as well. Because if you think about an employer, let's say I had 100 employees, I'm looking for people in my town. But now it's like, hey, I'm looking for the best and the brightest, right? And I can hire anywhere.
Yeah, that's something that I experienced as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What?
like I've right now, like this new job is all the way across the country,
Wow.
and they're sending me the computer out because of COVID. Whereas
Yeah.
before, I might not have had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's like, hey, you got the best skills. Hey, we're going with you. We don't care where you're at. We'll talk to you over Zoom.
Yeah, it's kind of cool
So,
because you're not always in your manager's face or whatnot. You just gotta stay low key, do your
yeah,
work.
definitely.
Go ahead and scrutinize me during our Zoom calls. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't like the what that suit he
I'm
was
cutting you
wearing.
off. I'm turning your no, sound down.
His microphone quality wasn't bad. Fire him. It's a whole new world, brother, but I'm looking forward to it. 2021. It's been awesome. Met you at 10X. Been pounding out these podcasts. It's been great for me. From the first podcast, if you listen to me, I was all laid back like this. You know what I mean? And it was that spiritual shit and that and I can still do that too. But now it's more like kind of I'm a little bit more on point. And it's what I've changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
From the
We're
beginning.
constantly evolving, man. We're all constantly evolving. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of these. It's this kind of level. I mean, I feel like you reach a certain level only to get to a level where you can kind of be relaxed and let it flow. That's the journey that life takes you on, even on the spiritual journey too, as well. You know, you're learning, it's super serious, and then all of a sudden it's like everything flows and it is what it is. You
It's
know,
when the conscious effort turns into just subconscious and you don't got to think about it anymore.
you gotta think about it, just let it flow.
Mm,
And the great eight.
It's
Great
kind of like when
Infinite.
I'm playing basketball and I'm just flowing and I'm just like going right around you and you can't handle me.
I was in my zone, man. Don't
Oh,
bother.
that's
Don't
all
mind
good.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Get that Kobe on.
Got that Kobe on, man. But
Kobe,
yeah,
man.
yeah, man. Was been a pleasure doing the podcast with you in 2020. Looking forward to 2021. We just flowing into 2021 and we updating, learning new skills,
Yes.
challenging ourselves.
Yes. You better learn fast too. It's got to be like Neo in the Matrix. Like, hey, boom, you need to download. You need to download some new skills. If you got to spend the weekend learning some new things, it's very important.
New program comes out, take a demo, learn about it. Could be a big time solution for your business, right?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about Microsoft Teams, learn about Microsoft Teams. Who knows? Maybe it's better than Zoom.
Yeah.
Give everything a chance. It's a whole new world. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure doing the podcast. 2020 year in review. Looking forward to the first podcast of 2021, brother.
2021.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, we out for 2020. Brahman and Bruhman podcast. Wish you a happy new year. Make sure you set a resolution. Don't you dare go into the new year without setting a resolution. And don't just say it. Meditate on it. Close your eyes. Meditate on it. Picture yourself accomplishing that resolution. And then go at it hard. Set some milestones. Accomplish it.
Definitely take some action towards it.
All right, brother. Well, it's been a great podcast. We out for 2020. We out. I don't want to see you again. 2020.